I mean, you just said it. They're the greatest vocalists and the sweetest people I've ever met. I actually know Karen from my gym, which is a little kid's place, like Gymboree. We take our 3-year-olds there, and that's how I met her. And I was a little bit starstruck. I love that band. I love the fact that they were like me. They toured, you know, forever and ever before they finally broke. And I can just tell they love what they do. They take great pride in it, and they have great ears. And to me, it's a throwback to all the music that I really loved, which were groups that sang really close-knit harmonies, like Fleetwood Mac, and they rock. You know, they seriously rock. They are great, great people, and I love them and value their friendship, and they're good ones.
Becca? I'm just curious. I mean, obviously you are a very well-established artist with a huge career. Is there any aspect of making the transition to a true country record that you feel like a new artist again, or any processes that you're going through that
Yeah.
like coming here for the first time as a full-fledged country?
Yeah, you know, I signed with Warner Nashville, and they said, you know, this is what new artists at country do. They do radio tours, and I said, I'm on board. I'll do whatever it takes. My feeling about it is, you know, I've been around for a long time, but the country fan base, and it's one of the reasons I haven't made a country record before. I was at Interscope, and they didn't have a country division, and I've always typically written songs that were structurally like country songs, most of them story-oriented songs. And Brad Paisley came up to me after the CMAs when I sang with Loretta and Ren and said, now, will you consider coming home to the format that you belong in? And I said, I will do that, but to me, the country format, the fan base, it's sacred territory, and I didn't want to feel like, or have people perceive that I was kind of jumping on the cool bandwagon. I have a huge NASCAR fan base. We were like the NASCAR house band for a long time, and I know the loyalty that exists in country music, and I know the work ethic and their strong faith, and I just wanted people to feel like I authentically belonged, and it has been always my feeling that the country artists, I mean the country fan base will decide if I belong at their format. And I am a new artist here, you know, even though I'm a little bit like Tom Petty in that maybe the country format is like the nucleus of Nashville. It's starting to absorb all of the little townships outside of Nashville, where it's ultimately a huge, huge format with Southern rock and traditional country and pop country like Taylor and Hunter. But I still contend it's the only place you can hear real songs about real people, guitar solos, people who can really play, people who write about what it's like to be, you know, a middle American working, and so I feel like it's where I belong, and hopefully people will feel that way when they hear the record.
Rosemary? And then Joyce.
You're following a very close path to what Darius Rucker has followed.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had an opportunity to talk to him about, we were just talking about his transition, talk to him about how that all works? And
Yeah, you know what, I know Darius, and I haven't actually talked to him directly about this. I mean, I know him in passing. Actually, he and I started out, we all started about the same year at AAA in Colorado. And AAA, you know, in all intents and purposes, I don't know that it even exists anymore, but it was sort of an offshoot of what it would probably belong in the country format now, which is, you know, maybe not as committed to pedal steels and traditional country, but still, you know, conventional or traditional songwriting. And one of the things that I loved about Darius is that when he came in, he continued to do what Darius does, but he wrote better songs, and he worked with Nashville songwriters, and that was one of the things that I loved. I've been writing songs for, you know, 30 years, and I love that, and I'm excited about it again. I love that I'm learning. I've written with some of the greatest songwriters, Brad Paisley included, and I feel like the songwriting on this record is the best songwriting overall that I've ever done, and I'm excited about what I'm writing about. And one of the nice things about country is that, you know, Loretta Lynn made it kind of okay for women to write about the complete story of their experience, and I get to write about that. In fact, Brad Paisley and Krista Bott and I wrote a song called Waterproof Mascara about being a single mom, which will kill you. And it's very, you know, it's traditionally country. In fact, I told Brad, I was like, this gets played at country radio, I'll be shocked. But it's fun to come into town and write with people who live next door, and they go to your church, and your kids go to my gym, and you write with all these people, and you see them on a daily basis, and you do a guitar pull with them, and then you get to play with them here, and it's really a luxury.
Last question for Joyce.
Country music artists always brag on this event as something unique to the format. No other genre of music has CMA Music has a music festival like this. So coming in from another format, is it overwhelming? Is it weird that you've got like 60,000 of the most die-hard country music fans waiting for you to step out on that
God, I
stage?
hadn't thought about it. I obviously I grew up in a different generation when we didn't know every single thing about all artists, but we read about these things happening. We didn't get to see them; we'd see them later on. As a musician, as somebody who grew up as a musician, my parents were musicians, I always thought that when I was out touring and playing, that I would be sitting in with other artists, and we would be playing not only each other's songs, but catalogs from other people, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan. That everybody would know this dictionary of songs. And I never found that when I was kind of growing up in music at other formats. And I wound up being sort of embraced by the Rolling Stones and Bob and the older generation. And now I find that since I've lived here since 2006, it's like being on a playground full of people who just want to be on the swing set with you. Everybody plays together, and it may be really exciting for the audiences, but it seems to be a natural occurrence here. When I first moved to town, it felt like Vince Gill, was, hey, what are you doing tonight, buddy? I don't know, what are you doing? Well, and I'm thinking, well, they're gonna have me over for dinner. He's like, you want to bring your guitar down and raise some money for blah blah blah. That's what happens here, and it's a natural transition. It's the thing that I've missed for so long. So doing this, even though there's a huge audience out there, it's exciting for all of us artists to get to play with each other, I feel. So.
Okay, all right, for have photos.